All right, Toronto Raptors offseason article is up on ESPN.com. The Raptors have been eliminated from the playoffs in 6 games by the Philadelphia 76ers. And I honestly thought this was going to go back to Philly for a Game 7. I thought Toronto had a lot of momentum going into Game 6. I was about to start writing the Sixers offseason article just in case. We would had to have that ready in case they lost in Game 7, and give the Sixers certainly credit for how they played. Certainly big games by Embiid, Maxey, Danny Green with some big threes. I thought James Harden probably the best I've seen him, at least attacking the basket, controlling the offense. A lot of good things from Philadelphia, but this is not a video about the Sixers. This is a video about the Toronto Raptors. And considering where this team was a year ago, a displaced franchise playing in Tampa, we didn't know what was going to happen with Kyle Lowry, the future of Kyle Lowry. You had a lottery pick, which is not the norm here. There was a lot of things up in the air. Pascal Siakam had not played well. He was on that max contract that they had signed him to. There was a ton of uncertainty here. And where you are right now, and I know that the standard in Toronto is not losing in the first round, winning championships like in 2019, or getting to the second round, or even getting to a conference finals, those great runs they had before Kawhi got there. That's the gold standard here. But I think you have to look at the big picture approach as far as where this team was a year ago and where they are right now. And when I write about the state of the team, what are they? I put sustainable core. When you have Van Vliet, who didn't even play, gets hurt in game 4. Right at half, doesn't play Game 5, doesn't play Game 6. You have Fred, you have Gary Trent Jr., you have Shelly OG, Scotty Barnes, who has the potential to become a franchise player, and then you have Pascal Siakam. I mean, that's a sustainable core. I mean, that's a strong foundation. Now it's a question of where do you go and how do you keep on building from here? And Masai Ujiri, who's one of the best in the business, and Bobby Webster, who does a tremendous job in Toronto, and Nick Nurse is a great coach. I mean, he is a great coach. They have built their rosters through the draft with a strong focus on player development. Van Vliet, OG, Trent was a trade. Siakam. That's how they've, Scotty Barnes, of course, that's how they've built this. And they rarely go outside, as I call it, outside of the family for help. They did in 2018 when they basically kind of hit a little bit of a dead end, basically just getting to an Eastern Conference Finals. And how do you get over the top? And when you did the Kawhi trade, that's not their nature. They did it a little bit at the trade deadline when they knew they needed help, and went out and got Thaddeus Young. You gave up a pick in the 20s here to get some bench help. That's kind of the risk takers they are, as far as when you're looking at it from a trade standpoint. The Kawhi trade is not the Thaddeus Young trade, but you can see if they need to go outside the family, it's going to cost them a draft pick, which it did. Certainly in the Kawhi trade, it cost them more. And now it's a matter of keep on adding. It's just like building a house, right? Strong foundation. There's walls up. There's roofs. All right, now we got to kind of put everything inside the house, as far as sturdy stairs and something like that, and nice carpet or hardwood floors for anyone out there who likes to build house. But that's how I kind of see this Toronto team. I think they've got a chance to be in the top 6 consistently, but it's going to have to take a continual step here. And they went out and did the Thaddeus Young trade at the deadline. They've got bird rights on him. He's a unrestricted free agent. You're over the cap. You can bring back Thaddeus. I think he's probably 6, maybe $6-7 million player, maybe even a little bit less, where he is in the role he's playing. It's not the role he was in Indiana. It's not the role that he was in Chicago. You're looking to get 15 to 20 minutes out of him. So you've got bird rights on him. You've got bird rights on Chris Boucher, who's an unrestricted free agent. So those are your two priority players. You've got your 10-3 mid-level exception. And in the article I wrote, they have not had good success when it comes to free agency when you're using, when they used the exception in the past. I mean, the list of names here, let me pull it up. It's, it's astonishing as far as what they were able to do. I mean, you have Aaron Baines. Here's the list. Patrick McCall, Rondé Hollis-Jefferson, Aaron Baines, Alex Len, Ken Burch. That's what you've used as far as with your mid-level exception. Part of it, not all of it. Only Burch is still on the roster. That's in the last 3 years. So it's kind of a little bit of a buyer beware as far as you have the exception, but you have to, you've got to get guys that can come in here and play. And certainly Young and Boucher is going to be your priority. So that's the resources to build out the bench. And the hard part is that you can build out the bench all you want, but as you watch Nick Nurse coach, I mean, this team is high in minutes. They got two players, certainly with Van Vliet and Siakam, 35 minutes plus in minutes. And so what's the point sometimes as far as going 12 deep when you're only going to play 7? So it's going to be interesting as far as how they build the bench. And I think it starts with Young and Boucher. They've got the 33rd pick in the draft. We know the success that Toronto has had in the past as far as finding players late, late in the first, undrafted. They've got that nice little asset there. But identifying talent outside of the lottery, that's their strength here. But they're in really, really good shape. I like the direction here. The other two things that the focus on, too, is that two of their players, Van Vliet and Siakam, were extension eligible. Van Vliet's about to go into he's got 2 years left on his contract, but he's got a player option for 2023-24. He's extension eligible. His number is probably on the bottom as far as where it ranks in point guards, probably in that 18 and 19, top. Out of the top 20 there. It's going to be interesting. He was a priority back in, I wrote it, back in 2020. He was a major priority. He's an all-star. He's a heck of a player here. He's got that player option. So it's a matter of, do you want to extend him? Do you want to add? Because the likelihood is that he makes it through another season, he's going to be an unrestricted free agent here. So you can sign him to a 4-year, 114. You can do a 3-year 88.7 if he opts into that contract here. So a lot of different options as far as what you want with Van Vliet. The wear and tear certainly is a concern for me just because the minutes, the past 3 seasons, has averaged 36.8 minutes per game. And he's missed 55 games to do various injuries. That's a lot of minutes here. So I do think you have to be a little bit careful if that's a concern. Siakam's interesting because he signed that 4-year max extension. He's got 2 years left on his contract. You can extend him for another 3 years. You can tack on here. So it'll be interesting. 3 years, 128.9. That's the number for Siakam as far as what you can do here. So those are your two decisions as far as within your roster. Certainly talked about Young and Boucher. You'll be under the luxury tax based on how you handle your if you use your exception and what you do with your own two free agents. But a lot of things to like in Toronto. It's certainly not the way you envisioned it when you go on the road and you win in Philly, and now you're coming back for Game 6 and you think you could be the first team ever to be down 3-0 and win a series here. But things will get better. I'm telling you here, there's a good foundation to build off of.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.